Waving hello. I've been talking and probably haven't heard me. Let's get up. Get up.
Getting up.
My volume like way low. It is low. Okay. Okay, let's see. Where was I? I was kind of looking at upgrading stuff. Hey, good morning. Well, this isn't early for this is late for me. Good morning, Recon. Yeah. Well, last night was actually a pretty good deal. I kind of I won't say mastered, that would be an incorrect term, but I got the hover mode under control, at least to where I can handle it. I can at least land somewhere and not die, so that's a good thing. What was I looking at? Oh, this one. So yeah, this morning I'm looking to do a little bit of a streaming this morning, and then have more stuff to do. But uh, that's it. Yeah, this needs everything except for the weapons. Yeah, I've already replaced the weapons. Well, I put revenants. Yeah, that's right. You don't have the neutrons. I love those little neutron repeaters, but they only come into what, size 3? Yeah. So I guess we'll go to the Aspis shields. I can get that. Right. So I can get most of it right here. I don't know why I even care to upgrade that. I'm not using it. But I might as well just for fun. Hey, Zaxis. Oh, there's lots of new stuff. Unfortunately, actually, I'm kind of gonna look at it today. I'm not real fond of the Hoover mode, so I've been trying to figure that out. Get to where I can handle that, because it's kind of a okay. What in the world is that? Sounds like somebody beating on the door. An early look at 3.9 patch, yeah. Uh, I hope he's doing it more in a funny mode, because I think it's a little early to be. And these are now your top of the line uh, size 2. Top of the line size 2 shields right now. So I'll buy a couple of those. It's the Aspis. As far as I can tell from the data mining site that I'm pulling. They are the yeah, you can get them from PO. I'm looking here. Size 2s. Yeah, see here the Rampart and Citadel are better, but you can't get them in game. The only thing, so Aspis is the best available. That's what I meant to say. I knew there was something about it. So they're the best available right now. I guess I can turn my camera on. And then PO, the Maelstrom power plant is still the same. And again, you can get it from here. I think I only need one of those. And the coolers are still the cool cores. Or no, it's Indo now. That's uh-oh. I haven't changed my list. I need to change that. Damn it! I didn't realize. I think I've got. As I think it is the. I may not have changed my list correctly yet. There it is, cooler. Yeah, it's the Indo is your best. Where is Cool Core? They don't even have the Cool Core listed in here. Huh. Oh, those are size. Here we go. There's the Cool Cores. Yeah, short of the Snowfalls, which you only get on the Prospector. That's the Cool Cores. But they're supposed to be here. And they're not. Why am I Indo size 1? Yeah, they don't sell them here anymore apparently. Okay. Unfortunately, my list seemed to change from day to day, patch to patch. Yeah, that's here's my freelancer loadout right here. I'll show you that. I have it completely tweaked. Of course, the guns would be, a matter of choice. Uh, but the components are pretty much for Crossfield is still the best quantum. So that's probably, eventually you're going to want the Crossfield for the quantum. Snowfalls, I stole it because I'm in the PTU. I have a prospector. I don't normally have one, so I managed to steal those off the prospector. But the next best would be the cool cores. Oh yeah. I've been all over Maelstrom and Aspis shields. These are the best ones you can get. These you might have to use cool cores unless you own a prospector and PU. And then right now my favorites are these neutron repeaters. That may change it, but boy, they are some badasses. So yeah, that's your best. those are your components for the freelancer. I was going to add those to that. I don't know why I'm updating my Aquila. I rarely ever use it. In PU, I generally do it just to do it, you know. Uh, oh, I needed two of those. I knew there was one I needed two. I guess I'll grab another maelstrom real quick, and then I'll have to go get some shields for it. But really, all this, it doesn't seem to do a whole lot for me. I can upgrade them and I still overheat and, and you know, I'm not sure, you know, I still can't overclock them without them overheating or whatever, so I'm not really sure how much advantage you get out of this, but just something to do, I guess. Yeah, I've seen them. They're pretty nice. I like the new rest stops. They'll be cool when they flush out the interior even better. I mean, that's when it'll really be cool. Alright, now that would be it. That would be the loadout here except for the coolers. They need to be the cool cores, which I'll go buy. And from Area 18 is the only place I can get those, unfortunately. Uh, I went to Revenants. I like the ballistics. So yeah, that would be up to you. Did I? I didn't check the. Sorry. I know this is probably isn't all that exciting here. It's kind of what I like to do in the PTU though. Is kind of learn what all. Okay, and I need the QT drive. Where is that? Crossfield, and it shows from Port Ollie. Did I not get it? Let me. Every time you use your scroll wheel in the menu, it resets your scroll wheel here. Did I not just buy a crossfield? It says it's here. Yeah, it's here. This being the best quantum drive for size 2. But I can sure go look at them if you're wanting to see them. Have you seen them yet, Zax? I'm fixing to head to PO, I guess. I can sure. Okay, now it's. You haven't seen them? Well, I'll go look at a couple because I'm fixing to leave and head that way. So we'll go. Why is my quantum drive is like hung and won't allow me to access it there on both of those? Oh well, I guess I won't worry about that now. Yeah, let's go look at them. They're pretty cool. I'm sure you know. They do seem to be doing something trying to prevent the hacking parts from stolen ships. Because there's two ships that I usually steal parts from, and it seems like it works for a little while, but then all of a sudden the ships will start coming back without those parts, even when you reclaim them. So I don't know what that's about. So I guess in 3.6, I'm not gonna steal any weapons. I'm just gonna buy them. Since you do get to keep them now, it's worth grinding a little bit to get them, I guess. I haven't actually redone the cost, but it appears to be somewhere around uh, 500K for size 2s and around 250 or so for size 1s to upgrade them depending on what weapons and whatnot you put on them. To upgrade I like to upgrade two size 2s, this and a Connie, and two size 1s, uh, a Hornet and a 325, and it cost me about 1.5 million credits to upgrade those if I buy all the parts. Yeah, I wish they would literally just get rid of that whole hover on the space stations. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But I guess I'm biased. I don't really like the whole thing, the mechanic anyway. So yeah, I don't want it in space. I don't want it on planet either. But we have it. And this is something in PTU. The other thing, I mean, that was an interdiction. But the other thing is, haven't even gone anywhere, and I'd almost bet. No, that time it's not overheated. About 50% or more of the time, you can spawn your ship, and the quantum drive is already almost overheated. So I wanted to check that. We're gonna get one more interdiction. I don't. They come in pairs now, invariably. So we're gonna get another one of those. If I can get away from this one. second quantum deal. Yay. That's the first time I've ever managed to do that and not gotten a second one. You usually get two right in a row. PTU. What happened this time? Same thing. Yeah, I hope they get that fixed. It's rather annoying. I mean, it's bad enough you got travel time, then have two breaks plus overheats. I mean, it makes it hard to get anywhere to do anything. Great feature, but you know, it's not, to me. It's got like pretending you have two flats and a mugging every time you drive to the store, and that's just not. It's a little bit over the top there. Now where is it? Big as they are. Oh, here's the other thing. They started dropping you out of quantum a lot further out. But you can actually set it directly to the dang thing. Yeah, we're 116 kilometers out when they drop you out now. It's just that you have to wait for another quantum to get in there. I don't know why they couldn't get you this close to start with. Probably has something to do with the new stations. They probably moved it further out so you wouldn't hit asteroids when you drop out. I don't know. They're all big like this. There's a couple of different, you know, kind of designs. They do have a similarity still. You know, some of them are similar to others, but not really. Not like it was before. They're not all the exact same, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm not sure where I got to go to land, but as you can see, they're massive. They're most all of them are like as big as Port Ollie. Hey, good morning. Chiding, good morning. Appreciate lurks, you know that. Thank you. Yeah. But they have landing pads like there's some. Some of them have multiple places you can get in. Let's see. I don't know if this one has any inside here. It almost seems like it should have, huh? Because of those neons, it looks like there would be one there. But there's some more there. And I guess probably over there. I wonder where they're... So yeah. You don't really know where to go to these. I think it... I think it'll automatically set you. Like if I go to this in front of this hangar, it's going to give me this hangar. But there's hangars on each one of these struts, it looks like. I've been to pretty much all of them. I mean, the other day, Visions and I ran all over the verse looking for a component or two. Trying to find some of the newer components that are actually better than what we have in game, but we can't find them yet. They must be on concept ships or something. No, the insides are identical. I'll go ahead and land and let you, but they haven't redone the insides yet. It's just the outsides.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Uh-oh. Oh, there it is, way over there. I see it now. Yeah, they basically just tucked in, you know, unrealistic or whatever. They tucked in the old interiors and just redid the outsides so far. Hopefully next patch or two they're gonna redo the insides. So yeah, we still gotta wait on that. But gear.
Transitioning gear.
And they did kind of, I mean, the good news for me at least is they did kind of nerf the whole hover, particularly at the space stations. So you can actually land on a space station without it kicking into hovering, smashing you into the station now. There for a while, it'd go into hover mode here, and it was such a drastic change, it would send you flying. And, you know, 50% of the time you would fly into something and crash. It was kind of ridiculous. See, right there, it just went into hover mode. And at that point, it just starts floating around. But before, I mean, I could still land it like that, just dropping it down. But before, I had to literally, like, smash it down hard and fast. Because if I didn't, it would take off so hard that it would crash hard enough to kill you, to blow you up. So I would just smash it down on the deck real quick so it didn't have time to do that. Even if it damaged my ship, you know, it didn't matter. I just needed to get safely on the pad. But they tweaked that, so that's a lot better. No, I haven't. I want to set up my joystick. Well, I was going to set up my joystick and HOTUS because they were talking about the new throttle that they were adding. But apparently that new throttle that they're adding, a real throttle, has nothing to do with spaceflight. It's only for your hover engines or something. That's kind of what I was gathering yesterday. Somebody was telling me to, you know, because you can, you know, you have an alt or right alt plus mouse wheel will adjust that new throttle, but I couldn't figure out what it did. You know, I tried it a couple of times in space flight, and it didn't do anything. But I never did try it in hover mode, so I need to try that, I guess. Yeah, but a game isn't about not having quote much trouble. A game's about having fun, and I mean, to me, the hover mode is not really enjoyable. No, I'm using mouse and keyboard right now. I you know, I go into PTU and read. Oh, what am I looking at? Just looking at the station. So yeah, as you can see, it's basically just one of the prefab stations. But these are neat. This one you can't see. Some of these windows you can see the station out of. That's really cool, but I don't guess. Maybe there's one upstairs we can see the other side. It does look like they might have made them, extended them a little bit just with the same stuff, but I don't know if they did or not. Or they're using one or two of the larger ones because they seem like they're a little bigger than some of them, but it may just be me. But yeah, the insides are about the same. Yeah, well, you can fly around it, but no, you can't go anywhere inside to them. Pad 3. The other thing is they still have the pads here. Those mean nothing. Even if you come out of a pad elevator that says landing pad 3, that does not mean that's where your ship will be. You have to look at the terminal here. Hey, Intellect. Yep, TGIF to everybody. Hope y'all are having a good day. Yeah, wouldn't it be? Well, that's the objective. Eventually, will be that. I mean, they just, they're doing it, putting it in parts and pieces, so we have new content. But yeah, they haven't gotten the interiors flushed out on them. They're just a shell with the old interiors right now. It's still a good for me. I love it. I mean, I haven't really gotten to where I recognize them at all yet, but eventually you'll get to where you recognize this station or that. Not bad, Intellect, not bad. I mean, I've managed to get it under control enough to where I made about 6 landings in Lorville and Area 18 yesterday and last night. And I made 6 or 8 landings in a row. I don't really like the idea of having to go into third person, but I'm sure they'll come up with something to solve that eventually. So I still haven't tried the hover throttle or whatever that is that you were telling me about. Just because I don't seem to need, I don't know what it reduces, but my issue isn't speed or throttle setting. It's when that thing tilts sideways, and maybe it was you that told me that brake key takes care of that, and that works. That helps me. But my problem is if I'm in third person and I need to twist even just a little bit, then it starts floating around. I got to go back into first person, which I can't see what I need to twist. So I go into first person, get my ship dead still, then go into third person, twist a little, then go back into first person to make sure it's not floating uncontrollably. And then I can go into third person. Once I get it lined up, I can maneuver it over it and drop it in just fine. But I got to get it lined up this way. And because I can't twist with my mouse, at least, that's where downward thrust would reduce sliding sideways. I mean, it's the sideways and forward slide that not up and down. I don't have a problem with. I can go down in Hoover just fine. It's when it's walking sideways as I'm trying to land, and when you're trying to fit this thing through a door that's only a few meters bigger, and it's sliding this way or that way is what I'm having trouble with. That's where I get in trouble. Up and down's not a problem. That I don't have any problem with. Did I not get my... Might as well use that. So yeah, I haven't really tried it. I'll try it. It's, I don't see that it'll help me from what I understand, but That doesn't mean it won't. Yeah, I've come to realize that a lot of times, so just because something doesn't appear like, seem like it might be helpful, it doesn't mean it won't be. So yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot next time I'm not doing anything and I'm in a situation where I can hoover. I'll bet I can't go straight across. I bet I'm blocked. Oh wow, okay. I was thinking I would be blocked there. And why can't I see the arrow? It's targeting the. I guess I'm too close to the station and it's not giving me an arrow. Well, like I say, the up and down thrust isn't my issue. So it's the fact that if my problem is if I'm trying to twist, say left or right like this, yaw would be the correct. This is aggravating. They need to stop this. And we'll have one more, since it always does it twice, just for good measure. But yeah, the problem is with a mouse, it may not be as bad with a controller, but with the mouse, when you twist, which is just move sideways, right? You don't move your hand like this. You move your hand like this, and which is a curve. So is what happens instead of just yawing, you yaw and roll a little bit, which makes your ship do this and hoover, right? And that's what screws me up. If I had the attitude marker, the angle part, the false horizon, in third person, then I'd be okay. Then I could actually line up and land in third person. Right now it's kind of an issue because I got to go back and forth to third person. I got to go to first person to stop the ship if I yaw it at all and make sure it's not moving. But then I have to be in third person to line up and land. Just some minor stuff. I'm sure they'll get some, like the downward camera, some kind of belly cam or something. That would solve the first problem. That would solve a lot of it for me. Well, a joystick. I mean, where a joystick will help is if I need to twist, I can use a joystick or my rudder pedals, whatever. I like my rudder pedals for yaw, but without accidentally rolling a touch, because that's what happens when you do it with your mouse. You tend to get just a one or two. Oh, hey, Shipwreck. Thank you for the subscription, man. Thank you. You tend to get a touch of roll, because your hand moves in a curve. So you get a little bit of roll, and that gets you sliding around. And once you get sliding around, it becomes a nightmare. It goes from bad to worse once you start moving when you're not wanting to. And so, yeah, the joystick would probably resolve that for me. But, I have a HOTUS. Well, as a matter of fact, it's sitting right here. I moved something. Okay. Yeah, it's sitting right here, but it's all one solid piece. So if I put it here with my keyboard, then I got to put my keyboard up here, which is great. Which is okay. But then if I'm doing like FPS, in other words, now it becomes hard to reach my keyboard. I just don't have enough room for everything. And so for FPS missions and stuff, now I'm reaching up here like this with the keyboard, which is not comfortable. And if I had just a joystick that didn't have the HOTUS part, I'd probably set it up, which I can do. I can disassemble, take those. They do come apart. I just haven't done it yet since I went back to mouse and keyboard for two reasons. One, and the primary one, is I realized I can actually combat better with the mouse and keyboard. Don't ask me why. Not that I'm real good at combat anyway, but it's like lousy or a little bit better than lousy. Well, I'll go with a little bit better than lousy. And then two is I just got tired of resetting that, the joystick. It's like that much more setup on setting your controls up. And, because I jump back and I do the PTU every time it comes out, so, I get wipes or have to redo my settings for that a couple of times every PTU. And, it just gets old resetting it up. It'll be a lot better, once we get some persistence, and then I can set it up, whether I use it or not. I can set it up one time and it'll be ready if I want to use it. So it won't be too much longer, I'm hoping, before it's set up good, more persistence, and at least the control bindings will carry through. They got to get all their keyboard layouts locked down permanently, which they haven't done. They keep changing stuff. So let me grab some coffee real quick. Be right back, just 1 second. Oh, before I go, I should, thank you, Shipwreck, for that subscription. Appreciate that. And welcome. I love lurkers. I'll be right back. But yeah, I might set it. I'm sure I need to at least set up my controller. So, I also have rotor pedals. All right, Zaxxas, appreciate you stopping by this morning. And the same difference. We can. Oh, wrong key. Where are we? Right here. And you can actually see them in the map, which is cool. But yeah, I'm should 3.6. I'll probably set up my controller again, my joystick. I haven't set it up in quite a while. Just like I said, I kind of realized I was better with the keyboard on like the AI combat missions and stuff. So it's easier, less setup, so I just kind of gave up on the HOTAS and pedals for now. I'd like to try the HOTAS, which, I just have the cheap HOTAS. Real cheap. It's not really what I would recommend. So maybe one day I'll get the HOTAS. Oh yeah, I do. I'm a flight simmer from way back. So yeah, the controllers aren't an issue. My issue is I have a $60 HOTAS. 50-60 bucks doesn't buy you much of a HOTAS these days. I would recommend the 16,000 T16,000 HOTAS. over mine any day. I mean, it's all right. It works in flight sims pretty good, but this thing really just doesn't seem to be as easy to set it up for or whatever. The biggest thing it is it's got that centering. You know, it centers up, and it's too stiff a centering. I mean, I can use it. It's actually great and easy, or used to be. Very, very extremely easy to use as far as like landing and everything like that. Just flying around it was great. But like I said, I have like the cheap one.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
And, you know, fine tuning, even, you know, trying the curves, just, you know, I tend to oversteer with it. And when they changed the flight model for the drift, yeah, it became harder for me to use it for fine, you know, to aim at that little pip. Yeah, it's just hard. You know, it's easier for me to do with the mouse than it was the HOTAS. But like I say, I'm guessing a good part of that is the cheap HOTAS. In fact, I would say the majority and probably most of it is my cheap HOTAS. Yeah, but a couple of days ago, doing this right here, for me, wait a minute, did I ever let the gear down? Yeah, but see, I went into first person there for just a moment, and a little bit of drift like that, if you're in Hoover, doesn't work. What was I doing? I think I was just showing off the stations, and I'm not getting. Yeah, but before you wouldn't have done that. If you wanted to move up, you'd have crashed into that station.
Doesn't stay.
There we go. Yeah, 3K of repair, and I haven't done anything but fly here. I hope they fix that. I mean, I understand wear and tear, but of course, usually when they're testing stuff, they exaggerate. They'll like the wear and tear, the degradation. It may be exaggerated right now, just as much to test as anything else. I hope. I hope so, because otherwise, right now it's 10 times the cost of fuel, which doesn't make any sense. And imagine if you had to put $10 in your car and $100 in repairs every day to get to work and back. You know, it shouldn't be 10 times the cost of fuel. But like I say, I think they've just, I don't really need to go in here. But like I say, they do tend to exaggerate things for testing purposes a lot of times. I'm hoping that's what they're doing with the interdictions as well, because those things are driving me batty. They're giving me, but let's see. It shows pad 3, but usually that's a lie. It may not be. It may coincidentally be on pad 3, but yeah, I'm on pad 1. So yeah, you cannot use these numbers anymore. They should just take those out. I imagine they will before it's over. They probably just haven't. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, right now, oh, I forgot which one I was at. One. Right now, repair costs just for flying. I haven't even been in a battle, right? I haven't shot anything or gotten shot. It's 10 times the cost of the fuel, and that's completely inappropriate ratio. I mean, it'd be different, and that's just degradation costs. We're not talking battle damage. We're talking just flying across the map one time. But since they just added degradation, that's what I'm saying. I kind of have a feeling that's been exaggerated to test the degradation. Well, fines. I mean, I don't know. The fines I saw didn't seem too bad. And I think what 10K is the highest fine you can get. I mean, if you've ever been in a courtroom in this country, you'll know that's chump change for them for court systems. Yeah, that ain't shit around here, man. But let's see, is that it? Yeah, let's see. Like our court, let's see what the fines are. Yeah, see, here's Class A substance 10K. That's the highest fine I've seen, I'm pretty sure. I mean, yeah, these are not. I mean, none of these fines, like all your misdemeanors, are 2K or less, 2,500 or less. So yeah, I mean, the costs don't seem that outrageous to me on the same thing. 1 to 2,500 for misdemeanors, 10K and under. Well, now that's a troll. They're trolling us with that one. That's funny. I haven't done. No, the bounties don't give you a. I've done several bounties. You don't get a. You don't get any fines or anything for doing bounties, unless you're doing the negative bounties. I guess. I don't know. I haven't gotten any fines for doing bounties. But I always do the ones for the security guys. You guys must be killing wrong people. I don't know. I just said that. Wrong buttons. Yeah, let's see. Where am I? I'm right here. I'll go do a bounty or two. Yeah. The black market bounties should give you because you're killing innocent people. If you go kill somebody that's green, you should get a bounty. Yeah, those aren't the guys that are wanted by the law. They're guys that are wanted by criminals. You're taking out a contract. You're not. That's yeah. You're an assassin. Contact received. I'm out of here. Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping this is an exaggeration for testing as well, because I'm not real liking not really enjoying having quantum 3 times to get anywhere. not so sure they raised them or, yeah. See, I'm not even getting into quantum, and that's the second one. The fact that it's so consistent, and when it's 2 times, now it'll work, tells me it's probably a bug. I don't think this is an intentional thing. I mean, it's too consistent to be intentional. They wouldn't want it that obviously consistent. They would want some randomness in it. Now this time we'll get there. That, and most of the time I'm not even, I'm only getting a couple of NPCs. I think there's some real issues with it. Yeah, if it weren't that consistently twice in a row the second you start, I think maybe it was an adjustment, but I don't think that's an adjustment. I think that's a bug. I could be wrong. Let's see. Yeah, I'm pretty certain these bounty missions, any of them that say Hurston Dynamics, I'm betting they don't give you a, well, we might as well do the 8K against a major threat. Show off these new cannons I have. Man, I am in love with these neutron repeaters. One thing I like, see how the arrow is pointing? And my HUD down there, well, pointing at the screen. Right here, it's pointing at the OM now. Before, it used to not point at the OMs. If you had an outer marker, you just had to find the triangle and go to it, and it'd point at planets. You'd get that little green line down there to give you a direction for planets, but not for the OMs. And now it's actually giving you the direction of the OM. That's cool. Yeah, I'm kind of glad. I mean, I'll be honest, I got a little flustered about the hover mode there. The first evening I played it, and the next day it was bad. Now that I at least got that under control, now I can actually enjoy the other, because there's a lot of good stuff in this patch that, for me, that first couple of days kind of got overshadowed with the hover mode. So. Now that I got that under control, at least, I can start enjoying the other cool features that they did add. And just a little tip, now they put them right near these outer markers, so you don't want to zoom to here if you're doing max speed, or you'll drift right by your target. In other words, before you do that last quantum right to your target, you want to be doing 0, so you don't drift away. Oh, and the other thing, yeah, oh yeah, there's a lot of crashes in PTU right now. I guarantee. A couple of them done by me. But I don't have the notification of what deal I'm in. When did he just move? Yeah, he was over there. Okay. See the pip jumping around? That's kind of stuff that bugs me. I don't know what that's doing. Maybe server stuff. Target ahead. Target ahead.
Targeting reticle.
Yeah, that's server desync. What is that? It says Cutlass Black, but that looks an awful lot like a Valkyrie to me. Yeah, there's those guns for you. Man, they make easy work. Yeah, I am in love with those. Yeah, it's these neutron repeaters. I mean, yeah, that was a Valkyrie. Even before with my and I use the ballistics, and yeah, it's literally like going up a sizing gun for me. I mean, from the ballistics, I'd have had to shoot him 2 or 3 times as long to blow that ship up normally. I mean, that was practically first pass. I mean, I hit him a couple of times, turned around and nailed him a few times, and boom, pop. Oh man, rip. And this is why Firefly, I can back out of this. Cancel, yeah, leave. Because you can't even see it. Now you can't see that you have a bad token, but that's what that is. Yeah, they didn't like me taking that big ship down that fast. That's what it was. Right now, like I say, those neutron repeaters are the bomb, but I would expect them to get nerfed pretty quick. Again, it's a new product. They always seem to exaggerate new stuff. They want people to use it for testing and shit. So with luck, they won't get buffed completely, but we'll see. The other thing I noticed is that my thing that my browser extension that gives me my contacts doesn't work right in this one. I mean, I have a browser extension that copies my contacts from PU to PTU via the website, but for some reason it's not working right this patch. I mean, I got some of them, but not all of them, so I'm not sure how that works. Now, as far as I know, they haven't really done anything on the shields. We were testing that day before yesterday, and the holes are still there. And if you look on the road map, they're only 1 of 5 on the shield tech. So I don't think that's even actually in yet, but it may be. Parts of it may be. I don't know. We couldn't tell there was any difference in the shields. The same holes are in the same place. That I do know. Yeah, the Connie still has a hole at the cockpit and one underneath. But that doesn't mean they don't have some of it in there. That's. like I said, if you look at the roadmap, the shield stuff is only one of 5 completed, or since last week when they updated it. So I'm not sure how much of that is in there. I know the whole new tech isn't in yet. But yeah, this thing's got them too. And I'm using all gimbaled, so remember
ship
I'm
has been delivered
actually
to the
going
following
down a
landing pad.
size. So this thing here, what I didn't even look. It's O2. So this thing we're only using 2 size 2s and a size 3. And yeah, it'll take down a Connie like nobody's business. And before, man, it would do it, but you'd just about run out of ammo before you did. Of course, the neutrons don't use ammo, so. And if you're curious, these are my 2 ships that I actually own, so that's why I tend to fly these. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. That doesn't look right. It's supposed to look like that. Is it just missing part, or is that actually a different gun? Uh-oh, I'm wondering if my persistence is right. Oh wait, did I get the wrong ship out? I did. Dang it. Okay, my bad. I clicked the wrong ship. No wonder it didn't look right. Well, yeah, but I mean that's a known issue. They're supposed to fix as far as the holes in the shield. The new tech is supposed to be altogether a little different, right? So when they get that in, supposedly that will fix them. My guess is it'll fix some of it and cause some other different issues for a while. I'm not sure exactly what the new tech, how it differs or whatever. Yeah, yeah. I usually always do
Your
walk
ship has been
around,
delivered
yeah,
to the following landing pad.
like that. Just it helps because if they spawn the wrong weapons or something, you notice. Because I've had issues with missing components before, just like that. If I'd have ran up there and just hopped in, I'd probably never noticed it was a different color. Actually, I noticed the guns were wrong and then noticed it was a different color. You'd think the color would be obvious. Well, see where I came up on it, you couldn't really see the color, huh? Yeah, there's those bad boy neutrons. That's a size 3, and those are 2 size 2s on gimbals. So you could actually get bigger ones if you used, well, no, because size 3 is the largest one, but. And they didn't give me my custom stuff for the PTU. Not that I care. I didn't actually pay any extras. I should have. At least bought the coffee pot. But yeah, I hope they get rid of the hover at the space stations entirely. I mean, I just, and maybe that's because I'm slightly prejudiced. I don't like it anyway, but I really just, it seems like it's goofy at the space stations. They really shouldn't have them. in my opinion. In space to space docking shouldn't have hover mode. Yeah, yeah. Well, all the interior decorations are really cool. I like them, but and if I'd have been thinking about it, I'd have got them. This ship I only bought as a step up. You know, I can't afford a lot at one time, and I don't mind spending a little money here and there on the game, but I can't afford a bunch at once. So, like, to upgrade ships, I'll step up. I'll buy a ship that's $20, $30 more, $20, $30 more another month. Hey, at least we got some NPCs that time. And then I can step up to what I want. So that's kind of the only reason I have this ship right now. Is it's a step, just a stepping stone. It's not the ship that I'm like dying to have kind of thing. I like it. Well, that's something else I'd like to see is less drift and stuff. In other words, the less atmosphere you have, the more controlled that hover mode should be. Because guess what? You're two times in a row every time. Because your thrusters are still just as strong as they were, so they should have more usable force in lighter gravity. But I'm sure that stuff they'll balance out when they get to it. And this time, oh, you know what? Before I even go, it would really peeve me off if I took off and then overheated. So I might as well check my. Oh, I love the way you can't scroll and read. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna figure out how to get this to where I need it. Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of goofy. They need to figure this out a little better. Okay, yeah, we're not overheated, so we're alright there. Maybe. I'm not so sure they need, real life pilots and engineers. I mean, a lot of games do that. They want to get it so realistic, but at some point it becomes tedious. You know, like I've flown flight sims for ages, and it's great to be able to go through the checklists and do the full startup procedure and ATC and everything. That's great if you want to do that, and when you want to, that's it's fun. But then on the other hand, it's tedious if you have to do it every time. There's sometimes you just want to get in there and fly a plane, and you don't want to go through a 10-15 minute startup process. Well, that's what Flight Ready is for, right? And they still have Flight Ready in this game, and I'm hoping they don't get rid of that, because there's times you just don't. That's great if you want to do it, but not all the time is everybody going to want to do it. And if they force it to be an every time thing, it's going to be tedious. That's kind of like having to readjust all my settings into Hoover mode just to land, to go that last 20 feet. That's a lot of tedious stuff that would be repetitively tedious if you have to do it every time. That's why I try to figure out how to do it without readjusting things, because if you do it 20 times in a day, it can be a bit tedious. But yeah, the two things with the hover mode that I'm sure they'll adjust, that I uncomfortable with, not that I don't like, I'm just uncomfortable with, is the transition. I mean, I think it just takes control of your ship too strongly. I mean, I don't mind it taking over and changing the attitude of the ship, but it shouldn't jerk it that fast. And I'm pretty sure they'll tweak that a little bit, I hope. And the other thing I'm not real fond of is having to go into third view where you have no actual flight gauges to line up and land in those hangars, which that I'm sure they'll take care of. That's all over Spectrum and everything else. And I mean, to me, the problem is it shows that those hangars or those cities were not designed for this flight model. I mean, and that's a bad deal. I mean, it shows there's a disparity. They didn't develop this flight model along with a landing system over 800 years and come up with a hole in the ground in a ravine for a vehicle that's you have no downward visibility. That just doesn't make any sense. So it's obvious that this flight model was not the planned setup when they built those hangars. Right now, all three major cities use those hangars, so they got to come up with some way to line up and land in those hangars reasonably to make them to get rid of that. Otherwise, this looks like the afterthought that it is. I mean, obviously, the hover for atmospheric flight was an afterthought. Personally, I believe Chris Roberts saw that SpaceX landing where they landed that rocket booster back down, and it comes down and it hoovers and then sits on the pad. First time they ever got one to do that, SpaceX just actually like 4 months ago, maybe 3 months ago. That was the first one they managed, and it was a big thing. It was on TV and everything. And I think Chris Roberts saw that thing. There's our atmospheric flight. Nobody has that yet. Because they're trying to do different new stuff. And this is new. Nobody has an atmospheric flight like this. I think there's a reason for that, but. So yeah, I have a feeling they put the belly cam on it. I'll be happy. And then if they adjust that transition a little bit, so it's just a little smoother a transition, then I can deal with it pretty good. Then I won't have a problem. I don't really like it. It's kind of like the flight model. I'm not the new flight model just doesn't tickle my fancy. I mean. I liked the one before. It was just more fun. I mean, I don't care if it's realistic. Maybe it isn't. But it was more fun. Being able to zip around asteroids, like in Star Wars or Star Trek. That's fun. Turning, hitting the X, and hoping you don't hit an asteroid. Not so much. I figured it out. I can get around. I can combat with it. And everything else. But yeah, it's just not as fun as it used to be, and I hope they can tweak it to where it's a little better. But I have a feeling it's just like this. They've already spent tons of funded money, and they don't want to say, oh well, everybody doesn't like it, we'll take it out, because that would mean they wasted that money, and they don't want to do that. Yeah, yeah, you got to get that fine balance, and it's great to have a pilot or an engineer help you build a game, but keep a couple of gamers in there to let you know when you're getting to that line to where you know, I want it to be immersive, not realistic. Let's be honest. Realism sucks. I mean, in real life, you train all your life and hope that you get one space flight. That's reality, right? That sucks. We don't. That if that were the game, you sit in a classroom for 2 years, and you play on a simulator in your game, and for 10 years before you get to fly one of these ships, nobody'd be playing this game. That's reality. So, yeah, that sucks. So, what we want is immersion, not reality. We want to be able to feel like we're there, but we want it to be fun, right? And so, I personally am not looking for realism, I'm looking for immersion. I can grab some coffee again. And my gear's up, isn't it? Yeah, it's up. The thing may be telling me it's not, but it's up. This is the one I haven't really played with this one too much. Oh goody, so I can take in. Let's go with the 7K moderate. See how she does. But this thing's got the same. Oh, okay. I'm glad I test fired. I want to turn them both to my single. Yeah.
Transitioning gear.
It's not what I said. There we go. Gear.
Transitioning gear.
Now, before with my ballistics, I could do these missions, but it was a pretty good fight with this ship. I mean, it'll do them, but with this thing, I mean, I did one or two, but it was late last night. I was about half asleep already when I did them. It seemed better, but we'll see. I'm thinking this is going to make them freaking easy. I always, the first time when it doesn't give you the numbers, I always reset it and see the numbers because I did that one time and thought that was the waypoint, because it was like that, it was lined up, and it turned out to be something way on beyond. I went right, left the planetary area. Oh shit. I wish they'd tell you what mode you're in. I can tell from the gauge, but not while I'm staring at anything. See there, you can't see those little dots. Okay, he must be on the other side. I'm getting shot at by something. It does. I was just talking about being able to read the target ahead. Target ahead.
Targeting reticle.
Got somebody behind me. His buddy's trying to help him. Got shotguns. Yeah, that guy had a buddy that was shooting at me. Still shooting at me. I like that. That's kind of, before they wouldn't really attack you very much. So that's actually a little better. I like that. Up till now, I've been doing just like that. I've been just ignoring everybody else, just go in and kill the target and leave. And the fact that they're actually targeting me and shooting at me makes it a little more, you got to pay attention to them. I like that. It was an NPC, yeah. I'm pretty certain it was an NPC. I didn't actually target them to check, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that was an NPC. There were like 3 NPCs in there when I came in. I didn't see any players. But let's try a big one. This will be a Connie or a Valkyrie, so that's a big ship for this thing. There's no objective. Oh, there it is. I was going to say, but I don't see a marker. Yeah. Oh yeah, it is Friday. I guess they have their I probably won't watch it on here, but I do have them all about space. Darn commercials. Let's see if I can
What's that weird fold-out thingy that you can open in the lower back of the prospector? I don't actually know what this
Oh,
is.
the thing at the back. So that was something that Tony requested years and years ago when we were initially doing the Prospector. It's for when you do FPS mining, that you can load some of the stuff you have done directly into the back of the Prospector.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Learn something new every day.
The more you know. Have you ever considered an EMP rocket for missile?
Yes.
We don't have any in the game at the moment, do
We
we?
don't have any in the game. There's a few ships
Not
that we
familiar
want
with any.
to have them come with them by default. Both new and old.
This one is short and straight to the point. Are ships going to murder their occupants less than 3.6?
Hopefully.
I was curious how firmly you were going to go on the record there.
Yeah, that's just a bug that should have been fixed. I'm pretty sure it's been fixed.
I haven't seen it
Yeah.
anywhere near as much as 351 live in our 3.6 testing. My legs are pretty strong now, so
What was it actually doing?
I have no idea what it was doing.
Yeah. You have to ask the actor programmers.
Yeah,
See, if only we still had bug smashers, man. We could ask Mark.
it's a Jens question.
That's true. It is.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We'll go
that's
get
right.
Jens and he can come on and
Alright.
explain it.
We see this one quite a bit. Is there any chance of a vehicle scale quantum drive that will allow parasite ships like the Merlin or Argo just to spline jump around a planet or moon, but not necessarily, cross the distances between planets? It's folks just trying to make the journey from orbit down to the surface a bit more tenable in their smaller crafts.
Yeah, it's not something we've really considered. It's not going to be a never say never thing, but those snubs have restricted ranges by design. We could definitely make it easier for them to get around places, but I don't think a vehicle size quantum drive is the answer to that.
Not sure what they're shooting.
What are the lessons learned so far from the new ship customization feature?
Big question.
I think we asked the question here. I think we're still evaluating.
Yeah.
If we're being completely honest.
It's really interesting to see what sort of floated people's boat, so to speak, ship.
Other people's ship.
Doesn't work, and
Please do not confirm boats here on the show.
the
I don't know what
the
happened
sort
there,
of
but it just took
the
off
content that we
sideways.
thought would be quite popular
Oh,
wasn't as popular as we thought, and then other things that we thought nobody'd be interested in that was really popular. So from the website, you learn a lot in terms of how to build the customizer. From the game side, we learned a lot in terms of where to spend our time and effort providing that content for people.
I know we're not quite ready to announce where the next time ship customization.
Yeah, see, the other guys
the
are
platform
doing me
side
damage.
of ship
He's
customization
not.
We'll hit.
That other
But I know we are
NPC
discussing
there is
things and
enemy.
looking at our options and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So stay tuned for other Star Citizen communication channels to find out when that might happen. Let's see. John.
It's like it's
Yeah,
loaded
not as
question.
good as I thought it was the other
What's a
day, I
Vanguard
guess.
buck?
a Vanguard
Not
buck.
bad, but
So
still not great.
bucks were this
I like that the other
classic
guys
build
are shooting
upgrade
at me
kits.
though. That's
Promotion that was used in the
Definitely.
original Vanguard
I'm gonna
concept
die if I don't
back in
get him pretty
back in
quick.
2015. It was sort of this pitched as a easy way to swap between all your
I gotta get my
Vanguards.
shields going back
And
up.
we only ever did it on the Vanguards. We never did anything else. And it's sort of the reason we never did it on anything else was it was an incredibly confusing way of sort of packaging these items. It was a whole new name with a whole different explanation. So
It's one of those times where we attempted to make something seem easier,
Yeah,
and
and
somehow made it seem more
Yeah.
complex because ships already have collections of components,
Yeah.
and some ships have skins
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And this was just meant to be like one item that was proxy for
It's like
5,
a-
6,
yeah.
7 different items. So when you swap this one, it just swapped 5, 6, 7
Yeah.
items.
And then I believe at the time you could do that, and then you could also individually customize them after that as well. So
Right.
that's what we allow you to do now on all our ships anyway. So going forwards, like we talked about in the shipyard articles back in 2017. That
available on
Yeah,
robertspaceinstitute.com. You go to robertspaceinstitute.com. It's on the main page. You scroll down a bit. A whole series of articles written in 2017 about bucks and all ship-related stuff. Check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, essentially, instead of having a buck for each warden vanguard you have, we're just going to attribute you the items, and then you can customize it however you want. You can swap out that middle module between them all, even the hoplite now, because now we've reworked the vanguard. The hoplite central room actually fits in the same section as all the others, so all the hoplite owners have a way to customize their hoplites now. With the Harbinger and Sentinel in 3.7, we'll be releasing all the nose gun options. So each of the variants is going to get its own set of nose guns. They're still bespoke to the Vanguards, but they'll have different ones. There's laser repeaters, there's distortion cannons, there's ballistic cannons, ballistic repeaters. There's more than that as well. So there'll be plenty of.
Don't bury the lead here. You just went into another major Vanguard question in the middle of the buck.
Wrap it all up.
All right, so let's finish the buck up.
The buck things.
Before we get to the cool nose cannon things. All right, so what's happening with the bucks is when that time comes, when the full in-game ship modularity comes, and we swap out modules, they will. People who own those bucks will get the collection of items. All the items that were originally supposed to be in there. The difference will be, instead of one clicking a collection of things, it will be click the paint, click the room, click. It'll be a little more. It'll be a little more clicks, but people are still going to get everything that was included in those things.
Essentially, the only thing different from what you could do now with the Vanguard in game is you'll be able to customize that interior module, because you can already
swap out components.
You can already swap out the components. When the nose guns are around, you'll be able to swap them out. So it's just that central room modularity.
So now let's get into those nose guns.
Nose guns.
A lot of people, that nose gun, that hard-mounted nose gun, has been a feature of the Vanguard since it was first introduced in 2015. Now this rework that we're completing with 3.6 was a visual rework. It wasn't a rebalancing of the ship. It didn't change the loadouts. It didn't change the armaments. It didn't change the nose gun at all. But in 3.7, we're adding custom nose guns.
Yes. So the Harbinger and Sentinel were always pitched with different nose weapon options. So we're in the process of making those options. So the Harbinger and Sentinel will not come with the MVSA laser cannons. They're going to come with their own Vanguard specific versions of existing weapons in the game. We'll probably change the hoplites nose weapons as well. And then there's a few more that are just going to be available to get from the shops in game. So the Vanguard owners at last have options to pick from, and you can also individually change the 4 nose mounts. So if you want to have 2 laser cannons and 2 ballistic repeaters on the nose, you can do that.
Gotcha. So it'll be a specialized mount for Vanguards.
Yes, you can only those Vanguard nose weapons only fit on the Vanguard. When we looked at doing the rework, we toyed with the idea of making
something more generic,
almost sort of taking them away and just giving it 4 generic size 2 hardpoints. But it was there from day one, and it's part of it, and just replacing them just seemed a bit of a sort of easy
it's kind of like
get out.
It's kind of like taking that gun off the A10 Warthog. It's part of the Vanguard.
And it would have changed the front of the ship quite a lot in terms of looks.
Yes, and if you watched ISC 2 weeks ago, or last week rather.
To be honest, I can't keep up with it when I'm playing. And so I'd have to basically just stop playing. I'll catch it here in a little while when I get offline. Yeah, that was actually pretty good. It's not as good as I thought, but then part of that is definitely the AI is working better, which I love, so that's cool. Very cool. So while I actually died, I do kind of like the idea that that I died just because I should have. I mean, I was going up against 3 or 4 Connies and big ships and a small sports car. Even with upgraded components and weapons, that should not be a simple task. Before you could just go in and kill the target, and the other guys would. I mean, they'd target you and come after you eventually, but it took so long. And by then you could just move and they'd lose target. By the time they retargeted you, you'd be moved again. They didn't really act aggressive enough. Now they're actually targeting and hitting me. So that's really neat. Actually, I'm gonna call this an early stream and take a breather, go read that. I got a little bit of stuff outside I want to get done today, some cleanup I didn't quite finish yesterday. And then probably get back, come back in and stream. Let's see, it's 10:30. I'm gonna say in around 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, I'll probably be back online, and I'll probably stream some more this evening when some friends can get on. It'll be a little more fun. I have more fun when it's when some of my buddies. I tend to stream in the daytime when everybody's at work, so I'm trying to stream in the evenings, afternoons, and evenings a little more. So hopefully more people can either watch or join me. That's what I like. I mean, obviously, I want people to join me in game as much as watch me. So I'm gonna go ahead and give everybody a salute there. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a day. I want to thank Shipwreck for the subscription. I want to thank everybody else that came by and visited or hung out, lurking. You guys are all appreciated. Love y'all. I've just been overjoyed with the community, with the Star Citizen community. That's actually the only reason I really even stream is because the community has been so great. And so we'll probably see you in 3 hours-ish, 3-ish hours. And I'll be back online then. Hopefully, maybe we can get Antonio or Visions or some other people to come in, check out some fancy ships, see what else we can get into. Maybe do some of the, I'd like to try some of the hacking stuff. Actually, you know what? Veto all that for just a minute. I wanna fly over here to the. I'll do it later. I guess I need to go to Grimhex and get some of the keys and such, but I'll just do it later. So everyone, y'all have a good day. I will see you in a few hours, and again, thanks for coming and visiting. We will see you soon. Hope everyone has a great day.